What's up, Guns Out Nation? I'm John Keys. Listen, I'm so excited about this video that we're getting ready to drop because the first in a series of the primary arms range day that we just covered down in Houston, Texas, or near Houston, Texas. But listen, man, we had the great pleasure of meeting competition shooting legend, JJ Racaza. And when I tell you this guy was just absolutely amazing. We just want to get the interview out there so you guys can really digest what he's saying because he's dropping some jewels. Again, this is the first episode in the primary arms range day series. Definitely check this out. This is going to be one for the books. You don't want to miss it. Let's go.
I mean, look, I don't think this guy needs an introduction because he's one of the best shooters in the world. You know who he is, JJ Racaza. We're big fans of this guy. JJ, we didn't see you last year, man.
Last year was COVID, man. Everyone was undercover.
I know, but look, we're happy to see you this year. I want to just jump right into this and get your thoughts on something that I think is really fascinating as it pertains to the shooting sports in general. A lot of new people getting into guns. Yeah. And as a result of this, you're seeing all these new groups like NAGA, all these Asian Pacific Island gun owners, I mean, all these different groups, and they're getting into the shooting sports. Mm-hmm. I want to just get your thoughts on that as someone who really has been a leader, if you will, for a community of people, helping bring in a lot of new diverse faces into this community.
Well, I just think it's a great thing for anyone to just, for whatever reason, right? Sometimes someone just needs a purpose, right? Like, hey, I'm part of this group. I want to represent that group. Get into the shooting sport. Once you get into the shooting sport, that's like a way in. Yeah. It's like, right? And then for me, my career has been the shooting industry or just shooting alone, pistols in competition, has allowed me to be able to walk through doors that I never even thought existed, right? Which is the craziest thing. And it allowed me to afford me the opportunities that I have now, right? Here I am standing with you two, right? To be able to do and talk about these things that are such topics that are so cool for the industry now because it's starting to take a turn. There's a lot of these groups that are interested to come in, and you know what? The more of them come in, the more support we get in the background. The more knowledge is being shared out there, because the more knowledge you have behind the firearm, the more comfortable you are with it. So most people are afraid of it because they don't know, right? That's simple as that. But once you get to know a little bit, screw it, man. The groups, they're doing a good job. I used to support couple of them when I was in the Department of Homeland Security, and I was a member with NAPOA, and the other one that was an Asia Pacific Islander group up in Langley. So yeah, I've been around a couple of these things, and like you said, man, been around since 1988. It's been a long career.
Man. It's like 32, 33 years, guys. And this guy's no novice, okay?
As such an accomplished shooter, JJ, what would you tell to a novice shooter or even an intermediate shooter that has not ventured off into competition shooting, like myself? I consider myself as an intermediate shooter, and then I did my first 2-gun match. I went straight into 2-gun, right? And I mean, now granted, I really did. I went straight into 2-gun. I got DQ'd the first day. Got DQ'd the first day on a 180, okay? But when I tell you I had the most fun, and the people that were there were so inviting and inclusive as to giving me tips and say, hey man, everybody gets a DQ in here, there, whatever. What would you say to that new shooter, that novice shooter, or that intermediate shooter, or even an enthusiast that hasn't shot competitions? What would you say to them, like, to ease their anxiety about it?
I'm gonna tell you right now, do what you did. Dive in, go out there and do it. It's not about competition where it's not like I'm going to a boxing ring, right? Where I'm going against a pro and it's him and I and someone's getting knocked out. Yeah. You're going out there to test your skills, right? And even though it says competition, it's a local match that you can test your skills. And when you go out there and shoot a competition, you will experience what you just talked about, the community. Right? I'm not talking about the DQ.
Okay. Look, you see that's why I started laughing, JJ.
Right there.
My bad, guys.
I was trying to set it up, but he swung for it, right?
Yeah, he missed too. He missed.
But really, it's about the community, right? And that's really what kept me around for so long, because the community was so welcoming. Right. It allowed me to be able to break through any kind of barriers, any kind of limitation on someone that looks down upon whatever my minority status or whatever. I never experienced that when in the shooting community. Everyone comes from walks of life, and I came in early on, right, where the shooting sport was predominantly for one type of group. But I never once felt that I was shunned, treated differently. Everyone welcomed me because I had a particular set of skills that allowed me to be able to communicate and talk the same language with them. And not only that, I was one of those few that would go out there and try, and they were like, man, We haven't seen anything like that's awesome. Come on down, welcome, and then talk about your shooting. Where did you come from? And it was just such an amazing experience. So if you're a newbie and you've never done a competition, don't wait till you're ready because you'll never be ready. Go out there and try it out, right? Go out there, experience it. Once you experience it, you'll be hooked. I was literally talking with Osgay from Primary Arms, and she was like, "Nah, I just jumped into my first competition last year. They threw on a belt. I dove in. I didn't get DQ, but I went really slow. That's what it's all about." But she goes, "What I remember was." She goes, I was really bad at it, but what I remember was the video that I saw was me smiling and laughing the entire time. And that's what hooked me since 1988. It's been the community that surrounds and supports each other, right? And it's an amazing, amazing community to be a part of.
JJ, why is it important to attend events like this for someone of your stature? You could be out practicing right now, training right now, hell, even relaxing if you wanted to. And yet you're here in the Texas heat, networking with everybody, I'm sure a ton of fans. Why is this important? Speak to that.
It's the career, right? The career has changed and evolved a little bit, right? I was a competition guy that was a nobody for a long, long time. You grinded it up for another 10, 15 years, then you win a couple of things that seem to be significant, and then you get sponsors and stuff like that. And then eventually you get some sort of, it's weird to say, but some sort of notoriety where people want to recognize you and want to talk to you. And then you have that sense of responsibility to kind of essentially give back.
Right.
And this is my opportunity now. I'm at the point in my career where I'm giving back, right? I work with a couple of companies now that I get to give back and train law enforcement for free, right? Howitzers afforded me that to be able. They said they're going to pay for all my law enforcement, active law enforcement training, and I literally just came back, and one of the guys is right there. 3 days with HPD. I was there in Houston for 3 days, trained with them, and just ran with them and all that stuff, and share the knowledge. So literally, me being here is literally to kind of give back to the. As weird as that sounds to say for me, to give back to the community, meet new folks like you guys, right? And then being able to gather with some old friends. Because this is basically any event, any competition is when we get together, and it's like a family that you get to, right? So I feel so at home when I'm just here. So I was just talking with a bunch of old friends, another friend that I haven't seen in a couple of years, and literally just catching up. And it's so cool to see how far some people have progressed, right? And literally my career has gone that. I represent Primary Arms, I represent Beretta and a couple other companies. Being here allows me to be able to do that, and I get to meet and greet the people that are coming in. Hopefully motivate some folks to join us out there, right, and play around the game with us.
That's right. No, and I think this is important to see people like you here, JJ, because one, it showcases the humility of who you are. And a lot of times people will see videos of a person, John, shooting, and for a lot of novice people, it's like, holy smoke, I can never be that. This person is too unapproachable. And so, guys, I think it's really, really important, one, to be able to showcase JJ here so you can see he's a regular guy who enjoys shooting guns, who cares about the education, who cares about safety, and cares about having a lot of fun. And that's really, really important. So, JJ, I want to ask you this as we get ready to close here. What 3 things you would give to the viewers who are going to watch this video who are going out there trying to get better, or maybe they're new, they don't know where to start, they don't know where to begin, or they are beginning and they're scared? What would you say 3 things to sort of help them along their journey?
I would say the 3 things. If you don't want to invest in an instructor or whatever, dry fire. Dry fire your butt off. Before you even head out to the range, get familiar with the gun, get familiar of manipulating the gun, learn how to draw safely, learn how to reload safely, learn how to manipulate the slide, pull the trigger, all that stuff. Once you do that, that's like 50% of the battle of becoming better. Because if you can move like a grandmaster or move really well before even shooting the gun, no one will question that you are a beginner because you won't look like a newbie. Does that make sense? Everyone wants to look like a pro. Well, do the work, right? Do the work, manipulate the gun and all this stuff. And all that's for free. It's just your time, right? Number 2, go out there and be humble. Really be humble and learn the fundamentals and do it over and over. The further I am into my career, the further I am into, that I find that I'm refining more of my fundamentals than I am doing the sexy stuff. But everyone wants to jump into and do the Hondo rolls, the shooting on the move, and all these sexy stuff, right? Speed shooting. Do the fundamentals, and the speed and every other sexy stuff will fall around that. Because when things get hard for us in the competition world, right, I have to rely on my fundamentals. So if I don't have my fundamentals, I have nothing else. It falls apart with me, right? And the last and final thing is freaking enjoy. You gotta enjoy it, right? You gotta go out there. To me, it is a bond between me and my dad that we've been doing since we were kids. That's right. Now I'm passing it on to my kids, and now they look forward to coming out to the range with me. It is
I see your videos on Instagram.
To this day, my dad and I are going out together and traveling and teaching and competing. He's still my coach to this day. So it's a bond that we for the life of us, for the rest of our lives, we'll be bonded
It's
together.
like a Tiger Woods type of thing, guys.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Listen, man, you heard it from JJ. You know,
Three things.
those three things, and then I mean the other big takeaway is that this community, it's what it is. Community, it's family, it's friends, it's camaraderie, it's support, and it's inclusion.
Yep.
And you get all of that here, and in places like this. So please make sure that you do your research, get out here, experience some of this for yourself, and who knows, you might run into JJ Racaza at a range day.
You never know, man.
Throwing axes.
You never know.
But that's for
Let's
another
leave it at that.
episode.
Let's leave it at that.
Remember, dry fire, humility,
And
have
fundamentals.
fun, and fundamentals, and you're gonna have all the fun in the world.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll move like JJ. We're still trying.
We are still trying.
This guy's like Yoda. Do you ever get there?
I don't
Do
know.
you ever get there?
I don't know. I think there's always levels.
I think Mace Windu may have been the closest.
There's no limits, guys. Just levels. That's it. No limits, just levels.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, guys. Thanks,
All right,
JJ.
man.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Got that?